Welcome back to my channel, Joy Crush, where joy plus you equals a self-love rush. Today, I'm going to talk about a topic that is very sensitive and it is personal to me, and it kept me up like last night, so I felt compelled to just put it out there. I'm going to do it in a couple of segments. However, the topic will be addressing recovering after childhood abuse. Sexual abuse, actually. I'm going to be specific. Childhood sexual abuse. This is a topic that happens to many people. Statistics show that one in five women in their life will be sexually abused, and 1 in 6 men will be sexually abused. Sexual abuse is not gender specific. And as a male, if you are watching, it is okay to acknowledge that it happened. It had nothing to do with you. It is not your burden to carry. I'm saying that specific to men because when sexual abuse occurs with men, men tend to feel like, oh, they took my virginity and things like that if it was a woman. Or if it was a man, they tend to question their own sexuality if they ejaculated or had a sense of enjoyment. That's a natural body's response to such things, period. However, this is a topic that I want to discuss. So let's jump right into it. All right, so let's get to it. Step 1 in recovering from childhood abuse is opening up about what happened. When you open up about what happened, you confirm to yourself, hey, something did occur. Personally, I remember being in nursing school, and I was in psychology class, and my teacher was talking about PTSD and the concept and the science behind PTSD and other traumas in general, how the mind operates. So your brain is so smart. What happens when trauma occurs? Your mind can put that trauma in the back of your head and then bring it to the forefront to be acknowledged when it's able to handle it itself. So let me rewind that. When you sit and you think about the trauma, because it may be in the back of your mind and it's like sketchy to you, like, did this happen? Did this happen? I know because that's what I experienced. I experienced this whole thing like, well, did this occur? Then I started like seeing visions and things like that. So I was like, I think this did. And then I was like, when I heard my teacher say this and then I read it in the textbook, it confirmed it for me even more, like, all right, because I couldn't understand why for so long I forgot about it. The earliest memory I had was from the age of 6. And at the time that I became aware of my trauma and my abuse, I was 23 years old, and it just clicked just like that. It was like a light switch that went off. So I digress. Going back to just the recovery portion, first thing you need to do is open up about it. Go to someone that you trust, someone that is supportive. And if you do not have someone that is in your corner like that, try going to a pastor, even if there's someone who is your primary care physician. Just saying it out loud that it occurred helps tenfold. The more you talk about it, the more, I won't say that you become sensitive to it, but the more healing it does, and the more you feel like, all right, this occurred, I can talk about it more, then more thoughts and more of those things that you forgot about start to pour out. So a lot of times when people will say, oh, she's lying, oh, he's lying, it's not that, it's that the mind starts to release everything that it had hidden because it couldn't even handle what was going on. God crazy. Like, I swear, he my homie, but he crazy, because I feel like he just made everything perfectly to rectify itself, like damage itself and then rectify itself. Like, for some people that may not make sense, but for me, it doesn't take a lot for me to be in awe of like what God can do. Like, really. So again, step 1, open up, find someone you trust, find someone that backs you up. You see me flipping through paper. I'm flipping through paper because I really just want to help in this situation and give notes, and just pretty much giving you notes on the things that I did in order to start the healing process, and just knowing that the healing process is lifelong when you're dealing with this type of trauma. It's not like it's ever going to go away. I'm not going to tell you that it is, because it's a trauma. It's a trauma. What I would expect for you to experience is a happier life, and for those moments that you're triggered to be less and less and less. Also, when I say talk about it, consider joining a support group. Get a psychologist or psychiatrist as well. I can't tell you how much me seeing a psychologist helped me. I like psychologists better than psychiatrists because I feel that psychologists deal with more of the psychological portion of it versus psychiatrists deal with scientific portions. Like, no, I need to know what's going on in my motherfucking head, okay? Like, look, clear this up in here. So for me, the psychologist worked better. And that's pretty much it with step 1 that I want to talk about, is just really being able to talk about it, talk it out, tell somebody, and don't care about anything that happens afterwards. Like, whoever feels like, oh, she's lying, he's lying, blah, 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 whatever. I said what I said, period, and leave it at that. So that concludes my first segment of how to survive or recover from childhood sexual abuse.